Hello, this is Shappy from Stand Out Running. Thank you for tuning in. And today I will be talking about the Triumph 24 and answering the question if this is a Triumph. That was terrible. That was a terrible take. Don't use that. As I said, welcome and thank you for tuning in. So I will be talking about the Triumph 24, and before we get into all the details, all the specs, let me tell you why I ended up purchasing this shoe with my own money, because no one still sends me shoes. Anyway, so I'm trying to make the perfect rotation. As I said, I have several half marathons coming up that I'm building towards in the fall. I have the Baltimore half marathon. I have the Richmond half marathon. I also have a local Baltimore run, the Charles Street 12. That's 12 miles. Which find one more mile. It can't be hard. Just make it a half marathon. Anyway, I have a lot of half marathons coming up and in the fall, and I am part of the training group in Charm City Run, my personal favorite running store and a running store I used to work at, hence it's been my favorite. But these, I'm not only racing a few. Most of them are just kind of long training runs, building to the London Marathon and seeing how well I can handle a marathon after 10 years and being told I could never run again. All right. So first of all, Max shoe. I'm pretty happy with that. I have the Hoka Skyward X2, and that is a fantastic shoe. Now, some people might not like it. It is a heavy shoe. I just think it's so smooth and so nice. Eventually, I might look for a different feel, just because, there's too many running shoes. I want to try different ones. So that's going out there. I have two super shoes that I go between. I have the Adidas Hyperboost Edge. Sorry, I had to pull it out on my head, which I can't believe how much I like it. I'm shocked how much I love that shoe. I could probably use that for everything, and it's probably going towards my top shoe of the year overall. And then I also am currently use the On Cloud Monster 3 Hyper. Right? So what am I missing? I am missing a dedicated speed shoe. I'm missing a basic daily trainer. And I am missing my race day shoe. And that's the one I'm having most trouble with. But let's focus on that other time. All right, so I have my Max Cushion. Now my super trainer could be my daily trainer, and it probably will be. I might go with the Superblast 3, make that my daily trainer, because even though I love the Hyperboost Edge, I do want something that's a little bit more comfortable on my foot, a little more breathable, especially with the scorching heat, something lighter. I wish I could have that Hyperboost Edge foam on everything and it would all be good. But those are some options I'm kicking around. However, I am looking for a daily trainer, something that I can also do for longer runs and really focus on, change of pace, because I am going to the track more, working on speed more, doing threshold efforts, doing race pace. And again, the Hyperboost Edge can handle those things perfectly fine. But, let's try some of the shoes. So that led me to the Triumph 24. Now, Saucony, if you're not aware, has been killing it lately. They could be the shoe company of the year. Puma's up there, of course. Puma's is throwing hit. But Saucony has really caught my eye. And now, when I used to work in the running stores, I didn't even give Saucony a second look. Now, of course, they had their staples. They had the Ride. They had the Triumph. And when I was working in the store, their big hit shoe at the time was the Kinvara, and that was supposed to be a revolutionary shoe. It was super light at the time. Now I know the Kinvara is still around, but it's kind of not talked about much. Then they made their Power Run PB, which was their Pila Blend shoe foam, and they did a lot of great things with that. And so they came up with the Endorphin line, which is very popular, and then they have the Endorphin Speed, the Endorphin Pro 5, which is a fantastic beginner entry carbon shoe, which I might have to go to. I haven't tried that yet, but that might be a really good choice for me, considering all like the trouble I've had. And then they also came out with the Azura. And now I've tried the Azura on a few times, and I love the fit. I absolutely love it. It's a fantastic fitting shoe, but is a little bit too firm for me. I like a little bit more cushion in there. I am prone to get some injuries, so a little bit of protection is something I would want. Um, and then the Incredifoam. This is a relatively new kind of type of phone. It's TPEE blend, I believe, and they are using it now in several different ways, kind of like how ASICS is using their FF Leap and FF Turbo Squared. And Nike uses the Zoom Phone X. So the incredible main thing to understand is Saucony is Incredifoam right now. And now the first shoe I tried in it was the Saucony Endorphin Elite 3. And oh my God, I wanted that shoe perfect for me. I really do. Because on the foot, it was so comfortable. It was so nice. And it was like the best foam I've ever felt. It felt super good. And I absolutely loved it. Fantastic shoe. The problem is, it it was too soft for me, so it ended up kind of like giving my hips some problems. And also, like I live in Maryland, where there is hills all over the place. I live in I live in a place called Mount something. I probably shouldn't give my location. Probably you already know. There's some way to figure it out. Anyway, I live on all these hills. I live on farmland, and then a lot of my races are in Baltimore, where is Pothole City. And so these shoes are not meant for all these turns and side steps and everything. They're not stable enough. Right? Then they put them in the Saucony Triumph 24, and I've heard people just talk on and on about the shoe and how great it is. You're also going to see this phone in the Hurricane, in the Paramount Max. So I am looking forward to probably trying them out because it's such a great feeling phone. So let's get started and talk about the Saucony Triumph 24. All right, so looking at the stats, we have in this men's size 9, we have about 8.6 ounces. So this is a lot of shoe for how light it is, and it does feel very light. Now it has a 43 millimeters in the heel and 33 millimeters in the forefoot, giving you a 10 millimeter drop. But it doesn't feel like that big drop. Normally, I have no interest in a shoe with that higher drop, but this doesn't have that feel. Even looking at it, with all this foam, it doesn't look that way. All right. So that's the weights. That's the stack. Let's get into the upper. Now, another change they did, or another addition to the Triumph 24, is they changed the upper. It's far more breathable. It is a mesh upper, and you can see there's plenty of padding around the heel, and the tongue is nice and thick. So you get plenty of padding there. The tongue is gusseted, so you have a kind of a fully gusseted tongue, which I am always a fan of. Even the laces are plush. I mean, these are some big old laces. I'm not sure if I like the color, by the way. I don't think they're my favorite. I think you could have done something different. Even just white laces would have made this shoe look real clean, or matching this color. I think that would have been much better than the gold. I think they want to call it gold, but it's mustard. It's mustard. All right. So that is the upper. It has This version is also wider at the forefoot, so this should fit most shoes. Great lockdown. So the upper is a thumbs up from me. All right, then we're going into, of course, the big show is the foam. That is their Incredilux foam. Now it has plenty of padding all over. Really, if you're a heel striker, you're going to be fine. If you're a forefoot striker, you're going to be fine. And of course, if you are a midfoot striker, you are going to be fine. You have protection all around. Now, this is not the Incredible foam that they use in their Elite. This is not the same. This is soft, but you're not getting the quite same rebound as the other one. This would have really made it a very interesting shoe if they did that. But they kind of stayed true to this shoe and kept it more as that daily trainer. However, this will probably serve you more for a long run shoe, but this can pick up the speed a lot better than just a pure long run shoe. Right. Let's see. Is It's very subtle rocker. It's not great there, but it is there. So that keeps it from being overly aggressive, but it does create a nice smooth ride. All right. So the outsole. The outsole has nice coverage. It's their XT900 carbon rubber. That sounds like a Terminator coming out for you, but it's all over, real good. Now, you do have some exposed foam there, so it can get worn down a little bit, but and like the foam is kind of there as well and there, so it can get worn down, but I have not heard anybody have that problem yet. It seems that this is a nice, durable shoe. Right. So let's get into our rating. So first of all, the design. On foot, this feels like a lot of shoe, and it is. Now, that's probably not fair to me to say, because I'm running mostly in my Hyper Boost Edge, and that's a lot of shoe. But just, I don't know, this feels bulkier than it needs to be. The rocker could be a little bit more aggressive to make it a little bit smoother. So design, I'm going to give it a B. All right. Looking at the upper, like I said, look, I really don't like these laces, so I'm going to take a point of that away. It really takes away from the shoe, in my opinion. Now, other people might not agree. I think this shoe could be even lighter because I honestly think this is too much cushion. Yes, that can be a real thing. And so it's a little bit too much. The heel lock is good, but this, again, I'm not sure why they do this. It comes up a bit high. Maybe some people like that. This just feels like a little bit tad bit high. So again, I'm going with the B for the upper. Now, the midsole, the foam, that is clearly an A. That really makes this shoe pop. If this upper was with the same bottom, the same mid foam as the version 23, then it wouldn't be that great of a shoe. This is what makes the shoe special, so this should be acknowledged, and that is an A. All right, so the price. So the price for this shoe is $170, and you know that's fair for this foam and this shoe. $170. Let's face it, this is not your typical daily trainer that's going to be like $150, $140. This is not meant to compete with that. This is more, with this foam, this is more toward that super trainer range, honestly. So 170, I think that's pretty good. I'll give that an A. All right, so we have two Bs, two As. Overall, I'm going to give this shoe an A rating because let's just face it, if you make all that improvements to this shoe and make it look as good as it does. Even though this deserves an A rating. It's not a standout for me. I'm picky. I'm very picky. So it's not there yet. All right. Next thing we're going to do is let's talk about some comparisons.
All right, so first we have to compare it to the last version, the 23. So instead of the Incredilux, you have a Piva blend. It's much firmer. The heel has a 37 millimeter drop and a 27 millimeter drop. So both are down compared to the 43 and 33 and the 24. Both shoes have a 10 millimeter drop. Interestingly enough, even with less foam, the weight is 10 ounces compared to the 8.6 ounces of the 24 in that size. Now, you can get the 23 for about 135, but really you're cheating yourself from a much better shoe. All right, another very similar shoe is the Asics Gel Nimbus. And, both of these have been around for a long time. The Nimbus is on version 28. And again, this is a shoe that kind of really has redone itself. So the stats on Nimbus, it's 9.9, 281 grams in a men's size and a half, 8.5. So the Triumph is coming in lighter. You have a sack height of 43.5 millimeters and 33.5 millimeters. So that gives you a 10 millimeter drop. So very similar. Now the midsole uses the FF Blast Plus and a pure gel, which is a very soft feeling shoe. Now it's not as responsive as the Triumph 24, so the Triumph wins there. You have a very nice upper, very cushioned, just like the Triumph. Now overall, and the Nimbus is at the same price, $170. So if it was my choice, I would prefer the Triumph because I think you have more range than over the Nimbus. All right, the last shoe we're going to look at is the Mizuno Wave Rider 30. Now, this is a shoe that, similar to the Triumph, it has come out with a completely different design. All right, so first let's talk about the specs of it. So what we have is this shoe is about 9.3 ounces. Again, the Triumph is a little bit lighter. You have a heel stack height of 44 millimeters to 36 millimeters in the forefoot. So you only have an 8 millimeter drop there, but you do have more cushion in the forefoot. So that is nice. Now, also in the midsole, you have their Mizuno's Energy Next, which is a nitrogen-infused EVA foam. But also very different from the Triumph is they use a plate. Now, it is a plastic plate. It's their PX RNEW. They say it's a plant-based high-performance TPU. We're talking about the plate here. So I don't know how it works, but it should give you a little bit more spring. Two very similar shoes, and in my opinion, similar rides, but they do it in different ways. If I had to choose between them, I always like to choose a shoe a little bit lighter, so that would be the Triumph 24.
All right, next let's get into rotations. So how would I fit this shoe into a Saucony rotation? Going to 4, going to 3, and going to 2. And I guess 1. I mean, like if I'm reviewing this shoe and I said 1 shoe rotation, it'd just be this shoe. All right, so first of all, for my Max trainer, I would go one of 2, depending. I would either go the Hurricane, which again has the Incredible foam in it. Now that is a stability shoe, but from what I hear, it's soft. It's something you're going to go really long in. So that is one option. Or of course, there is the soon-to-come Paramount Max. I have not tried that shoe. I've heard a lot of mixed things. Some people absolutely love that shoe and thinks it's extremely comfortable. But be warned, it is a really big shoe. It is, it makes the Vomero Plus look like a speed shoe. It's just so big. And honestly, that could make this shoe great or it can make it bad. But if you're looking for a big, soft shoe that you're going to be comfortable in and run your easy miles in, Paramount Max. All right. Then would probably, in my opinion, come the Triumph 24. And this would be your daily trainer. You can just go to again and again. Your legs aren't going to get beat up. You can pick up speed in it. Now, not the most. This is not an Evo SL. This is not a Pure. This is not a Nova Blast 6. This is not a Azura. So this is your daily trainer, but you can do a bit of everything. All right. Next, all right. So then you're going to want to have your speed shoe. All right, and from that you can go in several different directions. If you want to, you would be Azura. While that I would consider that more of a daily trainer, it does have a stiff upper that you can really, or a stiff sole that really can get you going on it. But you probably want something a little lighter, so you can do the Endorphin Speed, or you can do the Endorphin Speed Pro 5. Now that does have a carbon plate, but a lot of people say it's so stable that that's something you can train in. So I would do the Endorphin Speed 5 or the Speed Pro 5 for your interval training shoe, and then you go with your training shoe, your race shoe, and that would be the Elite 3. Or, of course, you can go with the Pro 5 if you're looking for a more stable, solid shoe that's better for all around, all distances, something like that. So that is your 4-shoe rotation. Going down to 3 shoes, pretty easy. I would go Paramount Max, I would go Triumph 24, and then I would go Elite 3 or the Pro 5, depending on your level of running and what you prefer. So that's your 3-shoe. 2-shoe, it would be this shoe and one of the 2 race shoes, because this shoe can easily handle your long runs, easy days, and pick up some speed, and you would be fine with this and a race shoe. I think that would be a great pairing. All right. All right, so final thoughts on this shoe. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I went to Norway. This is gonna connects. I do this when I teach. I like tell a story, and it comes full circle. All right. So I was in Norway one time, and I went to a Viking museum. Super cool. I was really into that kind of history, and they had a longboat there. If you don't know what a longboat is, find a different channel. No, it's like the boats the Vikings sailed on. All right. And so the tour guide asked us this question. I don't think it's a riddle. It's just a basic question. They said that these longboats would be changed all the time. Like they would change out the wood, made to hold it together. And the question is if you change every piece by piece of the ship. So after a while, the crew is the same, but there's no original piece left of the longship. Is it still the same longship, or is it something completely new? And that's a very good question. This is the longship of running shoes. So they've pretty much changed most things about this. They've changed the upper. They've changed the foam. They even changed the traction to the outsole to get more traction on it. So this changes every piece of this shoe, which just it's not the same. So why keep the Triumph 24 name? Because let's face it, people like that comfort. They like to go to the same shoe. That's why we see such high bar shoes. We have the Pegasus 42, the Brooks 18, the Ghost 18, the Nimbus 20, whatever. I can't remember. Sorry, there's too many numbers. But people like a legend shoe, and this is a fantastic update. Whether you want to say it's a whole new shoe, that's up to you. But either way, you're getting a very good shoe for a very good price. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.